Tonight, in celebrating the lifetime achievements of our honoree, Morris Offit, we celebrate Hillel's vision to inspire every Jewish student to make an enduring commitment to Jewish life. For almost 90 years, Hillel has focused its attention on the college-age students, recognizing with our university partners and our community partners that we need to innovate in order to be able to be successful and relevant to the lives of Jewish students in each generation. And just as the university seeks to build a professional foundation for a student that will last a lifetime, Hillel too seeks to build a Jewish foundation that will last a lifetime. Now, scattered around the room at your tables tonight are students from many different universities. And I hope that you'll have the opportunity to hear from them in a more intimate way in the discussions about their successes on campus today. It's a very different generation and their stories are important. But tonight I want to speak to you about something else. Not just the successes of the students on campus today, but rather, in addition, the significance of Hillel beyond the campus. Three quick illustrations. David Siegelman, a guy we meet at the University of California, Santa Barbara. He's the president of the student Hillel there, and when he graduates, he says, I want to pay it back. I'm going to join the board of the local Hillel. And during that year, on the board, he starts incubating ideas and says, for Jewish young adults like me in our 20s, the forms of Jewish life that are going to interest me and my friends are going to be different. So I need to do something different. So he co-founds an organization called Moishe House, which spreads around the country and around the world with a global vision. And he comes back and he says, Wayne, I understand you too have Hillels around the world and have a global vision. We want to work together. And I said, what a great compliment for the time that you spent there. He said, Wayne, I want you to understand something. I could not be doing what I'm doing today if I did not have the opportunity to develop my leadership, to develop my own Jewish identity during my college years. Where's the Greensboro table? Second story, a name that you may know from the local community, Ruthie Warshenbrot. We meet her at University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. She is a student activist who heads an initiative called Binah, knowledge. She decides that the conversation about Israel on campus is so partisan, so propagandized, so many polemics, that she wants to look for a different way for people to discuss Israel on campus and to elevate the conversation instead of have it in the trenches where she saw it. So she invites in undergraduates, graduates, and even faculty members to study the way Jews have studied for thousands of years with depth and intensity over a course of a semester. When she graduates, she makes the unlikely choice of migrating north to come to work here in Manhattan. She finds a startup organization being incubated by UJA Federation at the time, Limud, New York. She takes an entry-level position in the organization and within a couple of years rises to become the executive director of the organization and is named by the Jewish Communal Service Association as the Young Professional of the Year. Story 3. In case you're wondering if you think I'm going to suggest that every single Jewish student leader goes on to work in the Jewish world, no. The Jewish students perform their service in the leadership in many different ways. Josh Mandel, a student from Ohio State University, tells me, and when I meet him at an APAC conference, which he's come to the last couple of years since graduating, about how he lived at Ohio State Hillel and how it helped form his identity and his leadership ideas of what he wanted to do once he graduated. But he decides to take a different track than perhaps the track that we heard even in your own families. He goes on to serve 2 tours of duty in Iraq with the U.S. Marines. And when he comes back, he decides to run for legislature in Ohio, becoming the 48th treasurer of the state of Ohio, and, as he informed me a couple of days ago, has now set up a senatorial election committee to explore a run in 2012 for the U.S. Senate. Now, for the lawyers in the room, you know that as the head of a 501c3, I can make no paid political advertisements from the stage. But I've read the tax code, and I know this. There's nothing in there that prevents me or you from quelling over that fact. So David goes from Santa Barbara, Hillel student president, incubates a new idea to serve young Jewish students. Ruthie takes this idea of real deep study and comes into the community in New York Federation and says, we can mobilize hundreds and maybe even thousands of young people to be involved in Jewish study as volunteers. And Josh says, I get it. It was tough in Iraq. It was maybe even tougher in the Ohio legislature. I don't know which is tougher. But that part of my identity is formed around my identity as a Jew and my connection to the state of Israel, and those are things that I am proud of. These are the kind of students that we work with and we honor tonight. Because it is our goal on campus not merely to make students feel comfortable in their Jewish identity during their student years, but rather to invest in their capacity to lead Jewish lives. And so whether or not that comes in the form of formal communal leadership or informal communal leadership, or to become leaders in the business world or in philanthropy or in other realms, that they become leaders in their families, leaders in their local communities, and that those are things that are informed by their Jewish life. Tonight, we celebrate the investment of stakeholders in this organization from years ago. And we see the return of investment in terms of the future leadership of the Jewish community. For yesterday's Jewish students are becoming today's Jewish leaders. And today's Jewish students will become the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you for investing with us and giving us the opportunity to partner with you to help deliver the Jewish future.